Greetings ladies and gentlefish, and welcome back to another World of Tanks video, this time bringing you something ever so slightly different. So, I'm currently going through some older replays and whatnot and trying to get those turned into videos because I appreciate I've been a little bit lackluster lately in getting videos out, and so I've got a bit of a backlog. So these games I'm going to show you today are a trio of tier 10 games, and I'm showing, well, I played them when there was the CAX mission event going on the European server. So this is going back a little bit. I think it was before Christmas, if memory serves, or maybe shortly after Christmas. Can't quite recall. But essentially, and I think there are other people who can get behind this. I don't play that many tier 10 matches, due in no small part to the fact that I have an irritating habit of grinding all the way up to tier 10 and then going, well, that's the tier 10 unlocked and bought, where's the next grind? And I'm like, well, you haven't really played the tier 10 very much, and anyway. So, for the CAX missions, I ended up playing more tier 10 matches than I usually would, so I thought I would just show a selection of them here. They're not going to be like massive mega carries or anything like that, but they should be fairly entertaining for you, I hope. Kicking off proceedings with the M48A5 these days pattern. Now, you've seen me in this tank before, but I thought, show some games in it anyway. I quite like the vehicle. This is the tier 10 American medium tank, and I'm just trying to get a shot on the pilot here. It's probably a bit of a waste of my time. And really, the reason I come over here is to get up on that ridge line. Never mind, he's already dead. See my treacle-like reaction time there. To get up on that ridgeline and be shooting people trying to cross the gap at BC1. So I have failed miserably to do that, which is a little bit unfortunate. And, well, that was just me being greedy and stupid, frankly. Now, we have managed to get into this location, which is relatively nice. There's one artillery on the enemy team that we do have to be a little wary of. But I'm trying to just basically show my turret armor here, because the front of the turret on the pattern these days is pretty good, since they got rid of that big fat tumour-like thing on the top. Or reduced the size significantly, perhaps I should say. Now, the 9 degrees of gun depression on the Fatten does make that position, it can be a little awkward sometimes. Don't get me wrong, 9 degrees of gun depression is not bad, but it's not the 10 degrees that you'll have become used to on these American medium tanks. Oh, in some cases 12 degrees. Hello, Mr. Patriot. There we go. Well, technically it's not the Patriot, it's a Patriot without the skin paint. So, go figure. Oh, that was never going to penetrate. Don't even know why I bothered with that shot. So far we've put a couple of shots into people, nothing particularly spectacular, and this is not going to be a particularly spectacular match, and I have no idea why I tried to take that shot at the front of a Super Conqueror again. Never really going to do a great deal of much when he's hull down, let's be honest. But hey, I guess you kind of miss every shot you don't take, so whatever. It's not as if this thing is particularly lacking in ammunition. Artillery does plonk one down there, and I do get stunned, but I'm not really in a position to do much anyway, so I decide to wait for the stun to wear off. Might have had a shot there into the lower front plate, which is why I decided to try and have a go at it. But now we're just going to push forward with this Super Conqueror and the TVP, who just got a bit wrecked, and try and do something about these fellas. So one there into the FV4202, trying not to get shot by the Super Conqueror into the bargain, and trying to deal with the FV as well, and help our Super Conqueror by hopefully killing this FV, so the FV is no longer shooting the Super Conqueror in the butt. And we managed to pick up our first kill by executing him. Now, round to the side, we might be able to get shots in on the flank of this Super Conqueror, although this is frankly a bit of a dicey fight, and I'm not really sure that I want it. But I didn't want him just barreling into our Super Conqueror. Trying to see if I can pick out shots on the rear of this IS-3. There we go. And the Foch is trying his luck. This is the tier 9 Foch, so he's not going to kill me or anything, but he could be irritating. And we actually managed to bounce a couple of shots, from him. So from his, I think it's 4-round autoloader, he's now empty. He managed one shot into me, and I managed one into him. Going for the butt, or the front as it turns out, on that IS-3. Again, I'm slightly slow on the trigger, so while I do pick up the kill on that IS-3, he does also manage to put a shot into me. Foch round the corner here. Oh, there's artillery. I do have the health here, and the guy was reloading, but I'm not sure if he has reloaded. poke round, put one into his little vision port up the top there. He may well still be reloading, or not. He's not. He actually puts one into me and takes out my ammo rack, which is kind of suboptimal, and then executes our Super Conqueror. But I leave him a one-shot. I'm a little worried about artillery, and I am now on low health, but I'm able to poke round and finish off that Foch, and that puts us on 3 kills. 4 enemy tanks remaining at this point. Stridsvagn, never mind, 3 enemy tanks, and there was the artillery. Stridsvagn, T95, and of course that M4043 artillery piece. So I'm just hunkering down behind here for a while. Because I'm stunned, I'm going to be slow anyway. So I'm just going to let that wear off in case I need the med pack in a moment. And it gives our Borsig time actually to work his way around the flank too. Really don't want to get caught out in a frontal engagement against a T95 or the Stridsvagn. Against the Stridsvagn, my best bet is to load heat, so that he can't auto-bounce my shots with the ridiculous angle on his upper frontal plate. Against that T95, ugh, T95. Really don't want to be facing him frontally, which is why I want to give the Borsig a chance to get around the flank. So now I judge it is my opportunity to move up. And there is the Stridsvagn 103B. Now, if this is a shot into his side, this one will be able to penetrate without too much difficulty. That was unlikely to do anything, but I thought I'd take the shot anyway. Again, my reload's not too bad, and it's not as if I'm short on ammunition. We've still got a Tier 9 Waffle Thrower and an FV4005 camping at the back of our base, who probably can't even render this guy, which is always nice, isn't it? So, ooh, hello, there's the artillery. Take out the intervening terrain so that then I might actually be able to do something about this guy. Someone else gets a shot in, and I'm able to pick up the kill for kill number 4. So it's just these 2 tank destroyers left. We don't have the artillery to worry about, which is nice. Now, I'm roughly a 50-50 one-shot for that T95. You know, on average, you'd expect him to not kill me with one shot, but it's very close to a 50-50 situation. I'm also very worried about that Stridsvagn, and the T95 has fired and is now reloading, but I'm not really in a position to take proper advantage of that. Really don't want to get caught out by the Stridsvagn either, because I'm essentially a 2-shot for him, and in siege mode he has a terrifying rate of fire with that 105mm gun. It's basically the same gun I'm using, just pimped out to the 9s. T95 is backing off, however, but then he's looking at me. Oh, I was trying to see if I could hit the track there. So that's a little unfortunate, but if he's looking at me, he's not looking at my friends, and if he's going to show me his side, well, it would be rude not to, let's be honest. Low damage roll into him, but never mind, can't really complain too much. I've had a selection of low and high damage rolls overall. Actually down to 17 rounds of ammunition here, and there is the Stridsvagn, and we actually managed to peek a shot into there. And if this guy is actually... excellent. Oh, he turns around, that's unfortunate. But I loaded heat, again, because it can go straight through that upper frontal plate and screw his auto bounce angle. We can trade shot for shot here. Yeah, that's a little bit dicey. So, yeah, we are now both down to a one shot for the other. Mexican standoff time. Wow, 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 wow. So rather than engaging in that Mexican standoff, I am going to put a shot into the butt of that T95. And artillery takes out that Stridsvagn, and that just leaves the T95, who gets killed by the FV4005, who finally got off his backside to get over here, and that was the match. Hurrah! Not a mega carry or anything, like I said, but a vaguely entertaining game. So, let's go and have a look at the stats for this one. That actually ended up being enough for second class mastery. I thought it might be slightly higher, but only second class. Fighter, duelist, fire for effect, bruiser, and we did pick up a high caliber medal, which is always nice. So we did the most damage on our team. 5,575 damage and 4 kills with 1,114 base experience. I thought that would be enough for first class, but hey, what do I know? And actually, you'll see in a moment that we weren't that far off of first class, but it does just go to show you need these days quite a lot of XP in the Fatten in order to be picking up those first class and ace tanker awards. I've played quite a few games in the Fatten and I've still yet to ace it, but hey ho, it is what it is. Shout out to our Super Conqueror, 3,500 damage. He did go down to the Foch, but he put in a good game. The FV 4005, despite the fact that he seemed to be playing rather passively at the end there, he did manage over 4,000 damage and 4 kills. And the enemy IS-3, 3.3k damage, bearing in mind he died about halfway through the game, and 3 kills in a tier 10 match. Well done to you, my friend. 27 shots fired, 20 hits, 17 pens for that damage count. 7 hits received, 4 pen, 3 didn't. 2 splash, 1190 damage blocked by our armour, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 4 killed, 871 assistance damage. We actually made a loss on that game because we did fire 1 or 2 heat rounds to deal with that Stridsvagn. And one of them ended up going into the butt of the T95, and we're running a standard account and not a premium account, so it is what it is. But we do get 2 bonds into the bargain, which is nice. So there we go, a fun little game just to kick this video off with. Game number 2 then, and once again we're in the Fatten. It's another, well, sort of 3-5-7 matchmaking, except it's 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4... No, sorry, it is 3-5-7. I just can't count. Never mind. We're attacking here on Karelia. So there's a time limit. We have to get a little bit of a wiggle on. And we shall see what we can do. And one of the nice things about the pattern is that it has the highest base view range in the game at 420 meters. Now, I used to run my Fatten with coated optics, giving it a very good view range indeed. But now I'm still at the cap, or I should say not the view range cap, but the render range cap, whatever you call it, not render range cap, the thing at which you can spot peeps. I can't do words at the moment, but I now run it with vents instead. I can get away with it, so I just get slightly better improved performance with mobility, the gun, and everything. Now again, the Fatten has pretty decent turret armour, so I have no problem going hull down here. I'm fairly confident that I will, broadly speaking, be okay. The only targets that I'd really be concerned penetrating the front of my turret without aiming lots are things like the T110E3, T30, tanks such as that, or some of the tanks firing special ammunition, but as it is, we don't appear to have any of those. Instead, there's a T-54 over here, who is, well, it appears he's trying to do a little bit of spotting. Don't know how much backup he has, but probably a reasonable amount. We just lost our Tier 9 Waffle Thrower, and we've lost our Tier 8 Centurion, which isn't exactly optimal, but there we go. And we plonk a shot. Not sure if that went through the upper front plate or through the front of the turret. The T-54 does have pretty decent turret armour, but it tends to fall apart a little bit when Tier 10s start shooting at it. Even if they're not firing premium ammo. Sorry, special ammo. One day I'll get used to that. If I care to. Oh, that one actually bounced, but he bounced on me firing heat. Yes, it's a heat 54. I mean, I doubt that's really going to surprise anyone at this point, but hey ho, go figure. We're down to 7 minutes 30 of this match left, so we really need to get a wiggle on. We have used a quarter of our time and lost 2 tanks in the process. So the sooner we can get a move on and get stuff rolling, the better, especially as we are one of 3 top tier tanks, and one of those 3 is a griller. You can't exactly expect him to be hugely mobile. So the pressure really is on me. Hello mate, you flubbed that up. And the Object 277 to kind of lead the charge here. I know our Object 277, along with a lot of other tanks, is over the other side of the map, so I decide to get this party going by dealing with that T-54. Tiger 2 decides he wants to go for me, but I have friends here who are probably going to make this guy's life difficult. One shot through the upper front plate at a favourable angle, second shot through the front of the turret. He's managed to pen me once. He pens me again. Just out of curiosity, where did those penetrations go through? Can we see? Probably the hull. Oh, turret ring. Yeah, he's going around the turret ring and whatnot. Fair enough. But we are able to take the guy out, so that puts us on just over 2k damage and 2 kills, which is nice. And the scoreline is also evened up at 4 kills apiece, as the 212A takes out the enemy 277. Now, tier-wise, we have not lost a tier 10 yet, and the enemy team has. So in that sense, that gives us the slight advantage. I'm also able to spot out the T110E3, and I'm hoping that our artillery is going to take one look at him and go om nom 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 nom, and eat him all up. We do lose our Emil 2, which is a little unfortunate. I was in a dynamic platoon with him, but never mind. And here we're kind of going to try and see if we can spot peeps out and get them shot up. So we managed to spot out the enemy artillery. If our artillery is kind of on the ball here, then hopefully that's going to be some pain coming in on that fella. Don't want to push out too far because I appreciate there's a T110E3 who could slam me in the side. Nonetheless, if I can find the angle here like that, there we go. We'll leave the guy a one shot for pretty much a stiff breeze basically. And once again try and find a shot, but it doesn't quite work. Shame we didn't have HE loaded there, I guess, but yeah, it is what it is. So scoreline is 6-5 as our 212 racks up another kill. That T25 pilot, by the way, has been over pestering our tanks for a while at this point. He's being an annoyance. I get spotted out, but never mind. So it'd be really nice if we could do something about him, and actually the IS-3 that I'm platooned up with manages to execute him, so there's that. Scoreline is 7-5. We've got less than 5 minutes left on this match. Trying to see if we can spot out the E3 or the Centurion, Action X, or anybody like that, or the FV at this point. I get spotted. Oh, hello, Mr. FV. You've decided to relocate. You flub your shot. And nah, it doesn't actually work. Oh, there's 2 FVs, of course. There's a platoon of them. I was forgetting. My bad. Hopefully our team can do something about them, because I am getting a little conscious of the time, especially as our Object 277 just crashed. Fun, eh? Fun. Right, so that's another bit where I'm getting spotted, and it's actually quite difficult to push out here, because if I push out, there's a very good chance I'm going to get shot by an E3, pair of FVs, and it's all going to go hideously wrong. The E3 is actually looking this way. He has now fired, but he's probably going to pull back behind some cover. And I was loading a heat round here to try and do something to this E3, but I really don't have the angle for it. I take the shot anyway, but never mind. Again, I wouldn't normally try and do that, but we are very pushed for time here, and so I feel I need to push up and do something. So I'm going to slightly change my location. I'm going to go, if memory serves, for that location at D4, the little road that goes up straight towards the enemy base. And I might be able to catch the E3 and the pair of FVs on the hop, and hopefully the rest of their team, by appearing somewhere that they're not really expecting. That is the plan. We'll see how well it pans out with about 3¼ minutes left on the clock. Well, I managed to catch this FV on the hop, and there's 400 into him. I, of course, get spotted for it. Oh, and I spot out a T30 who starts getting absolutely wombatted. As well as that FV. Oh, they're having a very sad time. Poor peeps. Hello FV, goodbye FV. I do take a hit from the Centurion Action X, but at this point, with only less than 3 minutes left on the clock, I don't mind trading away a few of my hit points to try and get some of the enemies taken out, because we need to be getting a wiggle on, or this match is going to pass us by. So again, I'm relocating to try and turn up from a slightly unexpected angle. And just coming around to actually the same place that my platoon buddy is. There goes the T30. Thank you, Mr. Object 705. There's the Centurion. There's the FV4202. I do actually get spotted here, which is a little awkward. My shot doesn't manage to hit him. His shot doesn't hit me, but we do pick up a little bit of assistance as that FV does find out the hard way that, hey, artillery's a thing. Less than 2 minutes left on this match, and we've got a Centurion Action X, a T110E3, and the M53-55 artillery piece to find and execute. Speaking of that T110E3, he is still looking the other way, which would explain why our peeps over there are not really moving very quickly, and there's one into his butt. And we're going to try and continue advancing and hopefully continue shooting this guy in the bum. And with any luck, oh, there's some assistance as well. With any luck, we can try and get this guy taken out, and or the artillery and the centurion and so on and so forth. So just going to swing by around here. RIS-3 takes out the artillery. We're going to come up behind this centurion because RIS-3 kind of needs the help at this point. And unfortunately the Centurion does kill RIS-3, but I'm not really playing this cautiously at this point. We need this guy to die. There we go. And our Panther 2 kills the E3. And so that is the match with less than a minute left on the clock. First class mastery, spotter, fighter, duelist and fire for effect. Was not expecting a first class for this game, but hey, I will take it. Shout out to R212A, 4,000 damage, 2 kills, 1146 base XP. It is unusual that you find someone who gets top XP in an artillery piece, so well done to you, buddy, well done to you. And our Grilla 15, 0 damage, and survived. Really? Really? Oh, good lord. Never mind. So we came second on our team with 1130 base XP, so we weren't far off the first class mastery in our last game. 4 kills, 3,889 damage done. 18 shots fired, 13 hits, 12 pens for that damage count, most of which was from fairly close range. 5 hits received, 3 pen, 2 did not. 640 damage blocked by our armour, 4 enemy vehicles spotted, 6 damage, 4 destroyed, 2.4k assistance damage into the bargain. 3.23 kilometres travelled, and a total of just under 13,000 credits made with a standard account. God love a little bit of assistance damage. Now, got one more game for you in this video, and, well, I think I've saved the best till last. And I just mean that in the fact that the last game here is quite entertaining and a more, well, I mean, that was a fairly close run affair. I was going to say a more close run affair, but you'll see what I mean in just a second. Here's the third match then, and we're in a tank I don't think I've showcased yet on this channel, or at least not from my gameplay. This is the Tier 10 British heavy tank, the Super Conqueror. I haven't actually played that many games in this thing, but hey-ho. It is leaps and bounds ahead of the tank it replaced, the FV215B, which, even way back in the dawny mists of time, it was a tank that, let's say, required skill to make work at all. These days, it requires skill to still be quite a bad machine. It's just painful to use. The slightest mistake is punished incredibly heavily. And when you're using it to its full potential, it's not actually even all that good. So, there we go. So this is the Super Conqueror. Now we're here on, I'm going to butcher this name, I am so sorry. Sorry, wrong button. Studzianki? Studzianki? I think that's what I'm going to go with. This map. This is not my favourite map in the game, but hey ho, it is what it is, so nuts to it. And straight off the bat, we come over here and then we get plonked in the side by a T-54, which is a little suboptimal. So, the enemy team have pushed quite aggressively down the J line, so I need to be really careful about what I decide to do with my Conqueror here. And we've lost our E50 and our Progetto 46. And we're less than 2 minutes, less than a minute and a half into the match. So, and our WZ there is getting absolutely pasted. So this is a good start. Now I'm just pulling back, and partly to just try and reassess the situation and just go, right, okay, so what can I do? Where can I get shots? And also, can I pop up here, go hold down, get shots on people like that Centurion 7-1 without exposing my side to the guys on the J line? Is that a thing that I can do? Well, let's see if we can find out. There's also an Oh-Ho over there, who, yeah, he doesn't really even have to aim. He's just going to blat in your general direction and still do damage. And the Object 277 pens me. Where does the Object 277 pen me? He's firing heat, of course. Heat ammunition into the cupola at the top. He didn't even aim particularly well. We have to be careful about exposing our side to that T-54, although this time it's an AMX CDC, and I finally take the hint that maybe this is a bad plan. So I've lost over 1,000 hit points at this juncture, without having done any damage or got any spotting or done anything myself. Which is awkward. So I'm going to switch gears. Hopefully that T110E4 is going to give the people who could push down the C line pause for thought. And I'm going to see if I can use this pretty decent gun to take some long range shots into the flanks of all these lovely people. And that was going to be initially into the bat chat, but actually the T30 is on the ball and executes the bat chat with great aplomb. Hello AMX. That one doesn't penetrate, or doesn't even hit, frankly. But if he's just going to sit there, we will take our chances. Oh, 2-4 as our T28 burns to death. This is going well. And we're going to see what we can do. Now, Object 257. I hate the Object 257 with a passion. Try and go for a shot into the front of his little pike nose there, but we'll see if that actually works. Now, the Super Conqueror is actually better at side scraping, hello Mr. T54, than you might at first think. Some of these British tanks, and I'm thinking in particular of the tank this thing replaced, the 215B, there are these portions on the side of the tank that are actually quite weak. But they got rid of that with the Super Conqueror. So you can side scrape in this tank pretty darn effectively. You have strong turret front, decent upper front plate, your lower plate is garbage and also hides an ammo rack, so you do have to be careful of that. Ooh, there goes the Centurion 7. Good shot, Mr. E4. So we're just seeing what we can do over here. If those guys are going to get spotted by the T30 or our Centurion Action X, then we might be able to put some pain into them. I mean, if we try and expose ourselves to shoot that T30 and the Lerva and the Object 277, the T54, the Object 257, the AMX, the LTTB, they're all going to be able to shank me in the side, which is suboptimal. There, speaking of the 257, there he goes. Speaking of the T54, there he goes. And actually, this score line has been evened up somewhat. Still not a particularly interesting game from our perspective. I mean, we've had a couple of shots at people at longer range. LTTB. No, there's just crud in the way. But we'll have a punt where we think he might be. It may not work, but hey-ho, it's worth a go. 277 has now pushed in and executes our T110E4. There's also a Lerva coming around the other way, so this is looking like a rather dicey situation. In fact, the 277 is actually the other side of this rubble, which is a little problematic. Hello, Mr. Lerva. You're being quite brave. Oh, 277 takes out our WZ, which sucks. Hello, Mr. Oho. And we put one into him. He actually manages to sneak a shot into us, which is annoying, and it takes out my driver, which is also annoying. Lerva, ooh, gets a little bit slammed there, and the Scorpion finishes him off. Object 277, put a shot into him, as does the Skoda, I believe, and the SU-101 is also pushing up. But we're not able to put a shot into him too. Object 277 is trying a similar kind of thing, but, well, he's potentially learned the error of his ways at this point. Hello, Mr. Slitzvang. That shot actually misses. I don't think I gave it quite enough lead. I think I underestimated just how quickly that guy was moving, but that shot does the business. Unfortunately, we lose our Skoda to that to the SU-101. Udes bounces on us, and we'll just put a shot in to take out a good chunk of his health and set the Udes on fire, which is always fun. 277 flubs his shot. We manage to move around enough that we can bounce that shell. AMX CDC is trying his luck, and we flub that shot unfortunately, but we do pick up 790 assistance damage on the guy. Now, this is being a little tense. The scoreline is 7-10, and it's basically me spotting all these fellas, which is an interesting turn of events. So I'm just trying to hunker down as best I can, spot these guys as best I can, shoot them when the opportunity arises, and just get through this, really. AMX CDC. Oh, he does not want to get shot by us. Can't really say I blame him. I mean, he is on low health. Oh, artillery nails that oh-ho. LTTB has gone to a better place, and he bounces on the front of our tank as well. AMX CDC actually puts that shot into the dirt, and our team is now only, quote-unquote, 2 kills behind. Now, the enemy team have lost 2 of their tier 10s compared to us losing 1, but we did just lose the Scorpion G, which is a shame. He had been consistently putting shots in and racking up kills. So, like I say, it's a shame that we lose him, but it is what it is. All we can do is our best. Oho is working his way around the side. T30 is over there as well. Haven't had to deal with the UDES or the SU-101 in a while. T30 wants the AMX CDC dead as soon as possible, but I'm afraid, well, I mean, I would love to, but I'm not going to expose myself and potentially risk losing my tank, because if I die here, then most likely our team is, well, flubbered. Hello, Mr. Oho. How do you rate your chances? I think you just fired. Oh. Bounced the SU-101 there. He probably should have backed off, because it was pretty obvious I'd turned to aim at him, even if he doesn't have 6th sense, and he becomes kill number 2. So that brings us to 2 kills behind once more. UDES has actually completely relocated to the other side of the map. Fair enough. And I start wondering if it might be worth attempting to execute this Oho, because we really need to be thinning their numbers out. T30, however, is trying to be brave. RGW Tiger P is braver. Well, I say braver. He is at least able to make something work. Now, we actually balls that shot up against the Oho, which is a bit of a shame. And Oho does manage to put a shot into me, but the AMX has messed this up. I can see what he was trying to do, but as it is, it didn't really work. Now, it looks like we've got a damaged gun here that I have not yet repaired. Never mind, there we go. And the scorelines are now actually even, and we're up to our 3rd kill. Whew. Now, again, we do have the tier advantage with regard to tanks, and now that the T30 has taken out that UDES, not only do we have the tier advantage, we have the numerical advantage. I eat a hit from the Oho, but kill him, once again, expanding that tank number advantage. 277 has quite a good chunk of health remaining, which is something to be a little careful of. 277 is a dangerous machine. I mean, it's tier 10, of course, it's a dangerous machine. But the Centurion and T30 are up to the task of executing him, and suddenly it's just the SU-14-2, wondering what the hell happened, where did all his friends go, and, yeah, the T30's going, wait, what? We might actually win this, and yeah. And this is one of those nice little examples where you just keep calm, just keep shooting, and if the enemy get too cocky, they're going to make mistakes. And as it was in that situation, we were able to pick them off one by one by one by one. If they'd all come at us at the same time, that could have been a problem. T30 invites me to a platoon, and we can pick up a cheeky brothers in arms for this. And I'm actually able to secure the last kill on the artillery there, which is quite satisfying. And that's the match. Always fun. 9 kills between myself and the T30, which is also nice, and that kill on the artillery pushed us over the 4k damage mark. So let's go and have a look at the post-game stats for the last time this video. So when all was said and done, that game was enough for First Class Mastery, Reaper, Fire for Effect, Fighter, Spotter, Duelist, Hand of God, and Bruiser. We also picked up that cheeky Brothers in Arms and a Steel Wall medal, which was very nice. Especially considering that my crew isn't particularly great. That was unlikely to be enough for an ace tanker, because whilst we did pick up 5 kills, which is good, and about 2,500 assistance, which is also nice, the just over 4,000 damage, and because it was 357 matchmaking, a number of those shots were against lower tier tanks, which gives you a XP multiplier less than 1, basically. You get penalised for shooting lower tier things. So it was unlikely to be an ace tanker. Sorry about that. I'm not sure if that was the cat or Loki being rubbish. It was Loki fabulous. We still managed to come towards the top of our at the top of our team with 4,499 damage done, 5 kills, and actually 1,255 base experience. So that couldn't have been too far off an ace tanker. Maybe an extra 1 shot put in might have pushed it over the 1,300 XP mark, which probably would have been enough, but there we go. Shoutouts should go to the T30, GW Tiger P, Scorpion G, and Centurion Action X. All of those guys had a good impact on the game. The Scorpion, I mean, bear in mind the guy's only tier 8. He managed 1,887 damage and 3 kills. And the Centurion, Tiger P, T30 and myself all managed to survive until the end of the game and were just managing to kill them and put damage in them as the game went along, and just able to carry the rest of the team over that finishing line toward the end. Commiserations to the enemy. Object 277, 5,500 damage, 3 kills, ended up not being enough for the win, but at least he gets heroic resistance, or courageous resistance, sorry, as 5,500 damage will be enough for a high caliber for him. 22 shots fired, 14 hits, 12 pens. A number of those shots were at longer range, or blind, or they weren't particularly well aimed. 14 hits, 12 pens for that damage count. Of the actual damage done, actually quite a lot of it was from relatively close range, but a number of the shots we took didn't hit and were from longer range. 11 hits received, 6 penetrated, 5 did not. 1 splash damage there. 1,500 damage blocked by our armour, 1 enemy vehicle spotted, 9 damaged, 5 destroyed, 2,500, well, just over 2,500 assistance damage, and just under 2 kilometres travelled. So, there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed that trio of tier 10 games from yours truly. If you did, by all means, feel free to catch some of my other videos, or maybe subscribe to my channel, or do both, and whatever you decide to do, have fun doing it, and I wish you very happy hunting on that battlefield. Ciao, ciao.